What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we are going to be discussing the best undefeated fighter outside the rankings in every UFC division. The best, you could say, undefeated prospect. So if someone says, why are you not putting fucking, like, I don't know, Michael Morales or Shavkat or Lerone Murphy, it's because none of those guys are prospects. For me, you become not a prospect once you're in like the top 10. Or once you beat like a marquee name and you're sort of not ceiling, but like it's clear that you are who we thought you are. Like Michael Morales smoking Gilbert Burns in a fucking 2 minutes showed me that he is no longer a prospect. He is now an established contender. Like once you move into that top 10, once you get that ranked win, that's kind of when you're like, yeah, you're not a prospect. Like the prospect is like, we have prospects for you. Like we think you might be something, but we're not entirely sure. So that's what all of these guys are. People who could end up being top 5, top 3, maybe top 1, I don't know, fucking champions, who knows, maybe top 10, maybe they'll just be complete bums, we'll see. But as of right now, all 8 fighters, 1 per male division that I have here, I think have very good prospects of being decent at least, or they are just undefeated right now. Anyway, also Dana is going live later. I'm going to go to sleep after I record this video, but if I wake up to news, I already know it's happening. I don't know what exactly it's going to be. But right now, quick prediction, Pantoja Van, like 95% confidence. It'll be the December pay-per-view. Pantoja Van, O'Malley Song Yadong, even though that shouldn't happen, but that's probably what they're going to do. I'd say like 50% confidence. God forbid that's like the co-main or some shit. Like maybe, I'd say Marab getting a 4th title defense would be like a 20% confidence. And then just like Moreno Tyra will probably, if he announces the whole main card, he'll announce Moreno Tyra and like Vittori Ferreira. Like he'll show a graphic. But if he's just doing like main and co-main, I have a feeling we might get a Pantoja Van main. And then co-main will either be, if it's a strong card, the co-main will be Jan Marab. And then the feature fight will be O'Malley. If it's a not weak, but weaker card, the co-main will be O'Malley, in my opinion. We'll see what happens though. Maybe a Sean Brady, Michael Morales, just chucking up options, just chucking up half-court shots, seeing if one of them goes in. Anyway, let's get underway with this video. Next up, or not next up, to start off, flyweight division, Andre Lima. There are 2, I believe, undefeated flyweights right now. The other one is Rafael Estevam. And as Rafael Estevam being the guy who's missed weight in like all of his flyweight appearances except for 1. I mean, he's had 3, but I think he's ranked right now anyway. But Andre Lima to me is the guy who has the highest ceiling. I watch him, I watch Estevam and be like, this dude's going to lose to the first guy who cannot get backpacked for the first 2 rounds because his cardio is dog shit and his striking's non-existent pretty much. So that's my opinion about Estevam. I still think he's good, but he needs a lot. He's got a base that could work if he sorts himself out and doesn't get 10-8'd borderline in the 3rd round by everyone he fights. Like Charles Johnson and Jesus Aguilar both fucking were tuning this dude up in the 3rd round after he 2-0'd them to start off. He does have a win over Charles Johnson, which has aged well because we know how much Charles Johnson loves beating undefeated fighters. But the other undefeated guys, let me see. Yeah, it's literally just Estevam and Andre Lima. Let me check, make sure there's no one else. Nah, Clayton Carpenter, he just lost twice. So, Stuart Nickel, no. Oh, Dong Hun Choi, I'm seeing here, is apparently 9-0, but he hasn't actually made his UFC debut yet. He just fought on fucking Road to UFC on that Macau card last year or something, probably. But yeah, no other undefeated flyweights right now. On RankingMMA.com, there's 47 fighters listed apparently. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why that's relevant, but yeah, I'd say between the 2 of them, Andre Lima, dude, his striking is nasty. I know it's Daniel Perez, but like he tuned up Daniel Perez. Daniel Perez basically finished Jafal Filo with hands in like a minute, inside like a minute, and then just like overthrew himself and ended up getting taken down and stopped. But like he had Jafal Filo, who's very good. We've just seen that, in a lot of trouble early on the feet, and Andre Lima picked this dude apart, whooped his ass on the feet, and then subbed him as well in the 3rd round. One of the better, like, more well-rounded performances. I think that actually took place last year. So we haven't seen him much. I think he was booked for a fight, which Estevam actually ended up stepping in for because I believe he pulled out. He's 26, though. He's got prospect. like of improvement. He's got age on his side. Is he coming up? No, he doesn't have a fight. He was booked against Felipe Bunes. Hasn't fought. Oh no, he did. So the Perez fight was March this year. That's my bad. He fought Felipe dos Santos in September last year, which is also a good opponent on the record. Who I don't know why they cut Felipe dos Santos, but don't let that fool you. He is very good. But anyway, Andre Lima, I believe right now beats like multiple fighters in the top 15, top 10. So yeah, keep an eye on that kid. Anyway though, let's move on to the bantamweight division. Next up, Malcolm Wellmaker. I think this is everyone's bantamweight prospect. Now, before some fucking random Pakistani who thinks he's part of the crew goes and tells me, what about Farid Basharat? Farid Basharat's fucking mid, but also he's boring. I don't care. He's good. And if you're asking like who would win right now, I wouldn't confidently pick Malcolm Wellmaker to beat Farid Basharat right now. But if we're talking about who has the better prospect of success at bantamweight, Basharat is good, but I just can't get over like, dude, please don't only have 2 rounds of cardio and be borderline getting finished by Chris Gutierrez in round 3. Like, that's just not something that should be occurring at all. So, yeah, don't do that. And Wellmaker, like, he's got that base. He's got the nasty striking. He's got the KO ability. He's clean with it. He's nice with the hands, you know. And I'm looking at like the bantamweight rankings and just like, are you gonna tell me he doesn't beat some of these guys? Like, are you gonna tell me he doesn't beat fucking Amin Zahabi, bro? Who's number 9? Are you gonna tell me he doesn't low-key fucking beat Cheeto Vera? Like, I don't know. We need to see him. Like, he's about to fight Suri City in like a month on MSG. So we'll see if he can get his 3rd KO of the year. Suri City's never been KO'd, so that'll be a good test. He should win, but that could be like somewhat, not the same, but like I guess the Mauricio Rufy versus Hamas Lontop type fight. Just to see how he deals with someone with a bit of a better chin. If his power is really that nasty, or if he's just kind of been KOing bums. But we'll see. But right now, I think he's got the better prospect of further success at bantamweight. Because to me, I know people will say like, oh, but like Bilal and Ankalaev are boring and don't do anything fun, and they're insufferable to watch. And Basharat's the same, so surely that's a good sign. But to me, it's like, Basharat isn't actually that good at like avoiding offense. And also, if you're gonna be able to do no harm to another individual and just be a decision merchant, you need to be able to do that for the whole time. You can't be a 2 rounds to 1 decision merchant. Like, you either need, if you're gonna be someone who like doesn't get a lot of finishes, wins most of their fights by decision because of how good they are technically, you need to be like, you either need to have crazy cardio, like a Marab, who's not that technical, but he's not going to get too many finishes. Or you need to be like a Yarn, who's just that technical that you can avoid your opponent's offense and you build in fights, and you don't gas out. Like, you can't, like, because you can lose the first few, but then win the later ones. You can't, if you're going to have long-term success, be winning the first few and then losing the later ones. That's not a sustainable style, because, like, other guys who are just, as you fight fighters who are just better, they're just going to make it harder for you to win the first 2, and then, well, you can't win the later ones. We've learnt that. You can't win the later ones against unranked fighters, so how the hell are you going to win them against good fighters? So yeah, that's my thing with Basharat. But he looks really good. Like, he looked nasty against Gutierrez, but again, no pop, like no finishing ability to save his life. Anyway, let's move on. Featherweight division. Now, there's 2 undefeated fighters in the rankings at featherweight, Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev. Neither of those are prospects. And as many good contenders and promising fighters and interesting guys as there are outside the rankings, Kevin Vallejos, Jose Delgado, etc., etc., none of them are undefeated. They all have a loss/losses. Yadier Del Valle and Jusang Yu just lost to Daniel Santos, so he's not there. Correct me if I'm wrong, I can't think of anyone else. Yadier Del Valle is the only undefeated fighter outside the rankings at 145. So, I mean, by default, he's featured in the video. Fuck all people know who this guy is. I guarantee you no one knows this guy. Like, 12 people out of the 74 people watching this video are going to know who Yadier Del Valle is. He beat Conor Matthews in the first round, looked relatively impressive. I hate the matchmaking. They've just booked him against fucking Isaac Dolgarian, who's another, like, prospect / should be undefeated because he didn't lose to C-Rod, but he got robbed, but it's whatever. But he's the typical style of guy who loses to C-Rod, undefeated, grappling base, you know, not as much experience in the striking / cardio susceptible. So again, I have no real opinion on how good he is. Like, I think he is good, but I don't think he's as good as like a Delgado or a Vallejos or anyone like that. So if I'm asking you, if you're asking me like who is the best prospect, I will tell you it's either a Delgado or a Vallejos. But if you're asking me, again, undefeated, I mean, by default, I have to go to him. And if you're asking me what his ceiling is, he can definitely be ranked. I need to see more of his game, though. Like, if he goes out there and beats Bulgarian, that's a win that the hardcores are going to know is like, damn, this dude's good. The casuals are going to be like, who's this guy? But, like, the hardcores, if he wins, like, then he becomes, like, a real keep your eye on this guy. Like, hey, let me tell you about Yadier Del Valle, you know? Cuban as well. So, you know, I know the UFC likes their, like, fighters from a country that they don't have a lot of other fighters from. So maybe they'll get behind him. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Naruto Aliev. Again, the only undefeated lightweight outside the rankings, unless I'm bugging. And I'm not. I think, I'll go through it now on rankingmma.com. I need to do my own personal rankings as well. Like, we've got the fan rankings, which, yes, I will fucking make those publicly available to view. Right now I just have them on a Google Doc, but I don't know if that's like, if giving you guys access to a Google Doc means you can change them, or if you can like see my fucking email address and shit, so I'm not trying to do that. But I'll fucking figure out a website, I guess. I need to make an actual website, but I low-key can't be fucked updating that all the time. So it's really easy to update it when it's just on a Google Doc that you have access to, but making like a publicly available fucking domain to view is kind of annoying. But I'll get it done, I know. But anyway, if I'm scrolling through, I'm not seeing anyone. Like, there's some good prospects at lightweight again, but they've all kind of taken losses. Sadjukov's got a loss. Oh, no, he's got one loss in his career. He's undefeated in the UFC. But I'm looking. It's Nurullo Aliev 10-0, 2-0 in the UFC. Otherwise, you know, Tom Nolan's 10-1. He took that loss. Quillan Salkild's 9-1. A lot of guys with one. You know, a lot of ones. Cody Steele 7-1. I don't think he's particularly good anyway. You know, Gregor Gillespie 14-1. Saying here, that's wrong, isn't it? Is Gregor Gillespie only got one loss, deadass? I don't know why he's still listed here, because I guess he never got cut. He just stopped fighting because he was trying to fucking get a Tony Ferguson fight, and they just said no. And then he's like, alright, I'm just gonna dip. But regardless, yeah, Nurullo Aliev, this motherfucker never fights. That's the thing. He's got that typical fucking random Dagestani activity of fighting once every like 9 months, but like worse. Like, he debuted in February 2023 and made his second appearance in January of this year and isn't booked. This man's gonna go 2 years and then a year without fight. What's he doing? He must be injured, because what the fuck is he doing? Anyway, let's move on. He's not bad though. He beat Rafael Alves, but cheated the fuck out of that fight from memory. And then he beat Joe Selecki. So he hasn't really blown the doors off anyone, and he's only got two finishes out of 10 wins, which is not a good sign. But anyway, he's undefeated at least. Let's move on now. Welterweight division, Jacoby Smith. Again, by default, I would choose someone else if I could, because I have been on the opinion since his Nico Price fight that this dude is overrated. Now, maybe that is a one-off, but Bedtime did a video of UFC debutants that will be ranked tier list, and he put him the top tier. And I'm like, I mean, if your point is that he can beat Gilbert Burns because he's washed, then yes, I agree, he will be ranked. But to have from memory, let me fucking go look at this video from Bedtime real quick. Because I disagreed with a lot of those takes, overrating some guys, heavily underrating others. It just felt weird. Alexandre Topuria and Jacoby Smith are the guys you're planting your flag on to be yeah, these are the best of the best prospects. I don't agree. But let's check here. I'm just scrolling through it now. I'm just making sure I get to the end. But for instance, his top three is Jacoby Smith, Alexandre Topuria, and Baisango Sisakayev. None of whom we've really seen anything promising from. Sisakayev looks solid. They all look solid, but are we going to act like these three are just all future champions? I would say no. But then it's he's got Jose Delgado. He's got Jose Delgado and Marco Tulio in the B tier. He's got Baisango Sisakayev above Marco Tulio as and I'm just what are we doing? And then he's got let me see. he's got like Torres Finney in the same tier as like Elijah Smith, and I'm just like, dude, Elijah Smith's 22 years old, athletic, good, very good fighter. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm not saying he's gonna be champion, but like, yeah, Wellmaker and like Delgado in the B tier. It feels weird when you've got like, I don't know, like, yeah, again, Taporia and fucking Jacoby Smith in the S tier, and I'm like, what are we doing? But Jacoby Smith still is solid, and if you're telling me, yeah, like, could he right now probably fucking fluke a win over Gilbert Burns? Like, yeah, but like, if we're talking long-term success, I genuinely think this dude is just black Bo Nickel. And it's a thing that I will avoid saying directly, but you can infer what I'm saying. I think you guys all know Bedtime doesn't like Bo Nickel. And I think a bit of Joe Rogan maxing, if we're looking at the type of fighters sometimes that Bedtime supports in a way, with certain people, where I'm like, the double standard of just like, dude, this dude is black Bo Nickel. Am I wrong in saying Jacoby Smith is just black Bo Nickel? Looked impressive on Contender Series, was getting hyped the fuck up, comes in his debut, big win, you know, gets a KO, people think he's got hands, and then he looks mid as fuck in his next fight against Nico Price / Cody Brundage. I've gone on this exact tangent like 30 times in other videos. And I know this is a video at me supposed to be complimenting others, but like, I just feel like it's like, dude, can we see this dude beat anyone but Jacoby Smith? So anyone but fucking Nico Price. So I don't know. Anyway, though, we'll move on. I like Bedtime, and I don't want to get someone clip this out of context and make it be like I'm shitting on him. No, it's more like I'm just shitting on the blind glazing of Jacoby Smith when I don't think he's that good. Anyway, let's move on. And also, one more thing is like, he was fucking giving me shit, like directly using my name, giving me shit, which I thought was funny and I enjoyed it. But like, he was like giving me grief about fucking glazing Prates because he beat Li Jingliang and Neil Magny. God forbid I actually fucking think beating long-term divisional names is more impressive than beating fucking Preston Parsons. Preston Parsons and Nico the Dodo Bird Price. That's all I'll end with on that one. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, the man I mentioned before, Baisango Susakaev. Again, a lot of these are by default. I can't really go with anyone else. Let me check. UFC middleweight rankings. Let's have a gaze. Anyway, let me have a look. Because Ateba Gautier is not undefeated, otherwise I would put him. Marco Tulio is not undefeated either. Azamat Bakoev is also not undefeated. So I can't put any of these guys, which I would have put otherwise. But yeah, Susakaev's undefeated. I do think he's good, and I think people are giving him a bit too much grief for the fight against Eric Nolan, who first of all is good, and actually is a champion, a regional MMA a regional champion. So like, I'm like, let's not just write him off because he turned around on 4 days' notice. Like, let's not act like that's like a fucking cardinal sin. It's not like he was fighting Treston Vines. Like, he was fighting a dangerous guy who actually has hands. He's about to fight Eric McConaughey. They're taking a step back and giving him the treatment on like a full camp, letting him just really shine on that MSG card. I think he is going to show up very well and put a beating on Eric McConaughey. But I think what we actually learned from that Nolan fight is his grappling is his better strength. Like, he trains with Hamzat. I think his grappling is actually going to work better for him as a weapon. He's got that he's sort of like that. He's got that nasty striking, like when he's on and when he can actually land certain things. But for the most part, if he's just going to consistently stick to one thing, I think you're better off consistently sticking to the grappling and then having the threat of that to set up your strikes and go for those body shots, which we saw him get on Contender. Anyway, let's move on though. Next up, Navajo Sterling by default once more, only undefeated light heavyweight outside the rankings. I believe Uran Satibaldiev he's got one loss, I believe, to Martin Badai. Who actually looks like Satibaldiev actually looks pretty good, so I want to see more from him because I know Di Noga has dog shit, but like, he looked impressive. Like, getting an Ezekiel choke against anyone to me in UFC is like, alright, you have to be at a certain level of grappler to be getting an Ezekiel choke. Like, you can't. It's like when you're rolling, like when you're doing your BJJ in the gym, right? And you're rolling with someone, like, and you're clearly better than them, but like, you have to be a certain level above someone really to like be able to just do whatever the fuck you want. Like, and getting a fucking Ezekiel is like I'm just 10 levels above you. I'm just going to bully you and fucking... It's like when your partner just says, like, before the round, I'm going to Goga-Plata you. And you're like, fuck off. And then he Goga-Platas you. Like, you got to be a certain level above someone to hit certain submissions. That's not just some random, like, across the jaw rear naked choke. Like, you need actual skill and just, like, to be good. To be able to fucking Ezekiel choke someone. So he's good too. But yeah, Navajo Sterling, who again, I'm not that impressed by. Why is this video low-key me just, like, kind of not impressed with the state of undefeated guys outside the rankings? Like, again, not saying you have to be undefeated to be a prospect. Like, if I was doing a best prospects video, I would put, like, almost... I don't think anyone... Maybe Wellmaker's good, but, like... and Andre Lima, I'd say, is probably on the better side of prospects at flyweight. But, like, if I'm talking top 5 prospects at featherweight, like, would Del Valle be on the list? Like, maybe not. Would Navajo Sterling be on the list? Definitely not. Would... Or top 5 probably, because light heavyweight's shit. But, like, would Sisakayev be, like, top 3? I would say no. But yeah, so that's not what the point of the video is for, like, who is the most likely to become champion. But it's just, like, right now, being undefeated doesn't mean much. Like, it just doesn't. Because he looked mid against Bellato. He hasn't really looked good in any of his fights, to be honest. Like, Takos decision. He got a late finish against Ivan Erslan, who just got fucking WWE choked by Jimmy Crute. So I'm not that impressed by your performance, Navajo Sterling. Anyway, let's move on. Heavyweight division, Mario Pinto. Again, like, there's only really, like, 1 or 2 undefeated guys outside the rankings in each division. I think, obviously, flyweight had 2. Bantamweight had 2, I believe. Featherweight's got 1. Lightweight's got 1. Welterweight, I believe, has... Like, everyone except... Yeah, literally every other one just has 1. Because no one else at heavyweight is undefeated either. Like, I thought Pericic might have been, but no, he's got a loss on the record. Volta Walker obviously lost to Lucas Bershke. Guys got losses on the record. Obviously, Petrino's coming up from light heavyweight where he took some losses there. So dude's got losses, so it's tough. Like, even fucking... Trying to think. Like, yeah, everyone... Like, Taliesin Teixeira just lost to Derek Lewis. He was undefeated, so... yeah, Mario Pinto, but I actually do believe, regardless of record or undefeated or not, I do think Mario Pinto is the best prospect at heavyweight right now. Because we've previously, our prospect status, I'm not counting D'Elia, he's 35. He's not a prospect, he's a champion from another organization. But previously, like, the prospects we've been looking at was, like, Mick Parkin, Shamil Kassiev, like, yeah, fucking Taliesin Teixeira. Like, these are the guys, and it's like Mario Pinto, and they're all just kind of one side, like, not well-rounded, whatever, like, they don't look particularly good, they're just, like, athletic, or they have one attribute. Mario Pinto's shown striking elements, and he's shown good grappling now in this fight with Deniz. Not saying beating Deniz in the grappling is, like, oh my god, call the cops, but it's, like, still impressive enough to do that, and also just to have IQ at heavyweight. Big ups, like, big promising, makes me think you're going to be, like, top 10, at least, just from having IQ. Just from not being, like, tick 3 boxes at heavyweight. Well-rounded-ish, IQ, like, not a complete tard, and, so it's like, yeah, it's like athletic, like, don't be obese, be somewhat well-rounded, and fight with IQ. Just, like, yeah, if you're under a fucking 22 BMI at heavyweight, or even, like, 25, honestly, with the state of these blobs, like, yeah, you're going to be, like, that's one tick. Tick 2, mix in grappling in your fights. So the first tick is, like, you'll be top 15. If you're athletic, you're top 15. If you're athletic and grapple, you're, like, top 8. If you're athletic, grapple, and well-rounded, so you can strike too, you're probably, like, top 5, top 3. So, yeah, Mario Pinto, definitely promising, and he's funny as well. He's definitely promotable as well, from that interview as well. Anyway, I said as well, like, 4 times. Michael as well, you could say, just who announced probably one of the fights Dana's going to be announcing later on IG Live. Anyway, that's done. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Anyone that I randomly missed, because I don't think I did, but if there were, or if you disagree, like if you would put Basharat above Wellmaker, or if you would put Rafael Estevam above Andre Lima, let me know. I've done multiple best prospects video. I was really just like, what do I didn't have a video I did today. I just pulled up some random shit out my ass. But my next video tomorrow whatever. I'm not gonna do it instantly, probably just because, like, I want to leave a video in the algorithm for, like, a day. But if Dana announces some crazy fights, then I'm like, yeah, this needs my immediate reaction. I'll get on that straight away. But that'll be my next video regardless. Anyway, drop some more video ideas because I'm running out of content. And yeah, otherwise I'm just going to keep recycling my old vids from like a year and a half ago. Anyway, guys, goodbye.